How's it going, folks? Keith here from Cmon the Hoops. So I'm obviously going to be talking about the big news that broke on Thursday, that Scott Brown's staying on for another 2 years. We're all delighted with the news. Most of us are, which is fantastic. It's mad to think 12 years down the line he's still at the club. He's been a captain for 10 years now. Unbelievable serving for Glasgow Celtic. It's mad to think that when we did sign him in 2007, he was the highest Scottish fee between two clubs in the same league, which was a mad thing from Hibs. But he's been a good servant. He has 17 honours for Celtic, over 500 appearances. He's led us into so many European games in Europe, with like the Champions League. He had a record there that he had the best pass conversion in the Champions League 2 seasons back. So he's been a great figure for Celtic. Obviously he's not going to be playing regular as he should be, because he's 24 years of age. The legs are starting to slow down. A lot of people are criticising him, saying that he's the pace of play, passing the ball slows down. That's not necessarily true, because he has played a couple of the recent games, like the games of like St. Johnstone, where he had an absolute blinder. I think he still has it. He still does have it. He's obviously the defensive midfielder, as we all know. He has 37 goals for the club. Obviously, the one that sticks out the most is the broony goal in Ibrox in the Scottish Cup. That was a phenomenal goal. The rivalry he had with El Hadj that season was great as well. It was a good bit of banter. He proved to Joey Barton that Broony's a class of his own, as we remember that game as well. That famous 5-1 game. Unbelievable. Absolutely class. When we go back to when he started, like, he played regular on the Gordon Strachan that season, 2007-2008. Bit of a roller coaster season for him, because he did come in. Tommy Burns was a big influential figure that got Broony over the line. Scott Brown did come out and say that it was down to Tommy Burns. He came to Glasgow Celtic from Hibernian. So he done well that season. Sadly, as we all know, Tommy passed away. Scott Brown's sister had the same kind of disease, cancer, and she passed away. It was on a roller coaster season for him. At the end of the day, he did come back with a league, which he came back with a league, and it was amazing to see that the support, even when you could see the video clips of him going out to Celtic Park, standing at the pictures, the jerseys of Tommy Burns was phenomenal. Like, you could see in his eyes that he wanted to be there long term, especially we got on so well with Tommy. But he done well. 2009 came along. Tony Mowbray came in. Wasn't a fan of Scott Brown. Didn't rate Scott Brown as a captain. He wasn't even the captain at the time anyway. But obviously, McManus was the captain at the time. But it was a lot of talk that Scott Brown, between October to December, he wasn't getting much game time. He was linked to actually go down to England. A lot of teams in England were looking at him from the Championship, preferably at the time. But thank God, Tony Mowbray got the boot. Lenny came in. Lenny changed it all around. McManus and all them boys obviously left in that window, and Scott Brown took the leadership. He took the captain's role. Done well for that final half of the season. Done quite well. We got a win over Rangers. That's that campaign in that second half of the season after the split. He done well. He captained the team quite well. It was then obviously when Neil Lennon took the job full time, he appointed Scott Brown as full time captain. Obviously, his first honour was the Scottish Cup in 2011. That was a big achievement, especially from obviously being a Scottish player, winning that cup. Hampden, great atmosphere. Pissing raining that day, but it was well worth it for them. He's had great times. Obviously, them 17 cups, like, that's a lot to write your name in Celtic folklore. You go down with the likes of Danny McGrain, Billy McNeil, Paul McStay, Neil Lennon, Tom Boyd, Jackie McNamara, etc. But Broony be up there. I'd say Broony would be in the top 3 captains Celtic ever had. Because the proven fact, invincible season, long term he's been at the club, 12 years he's at the club, and to continue for 14. 500 appearances for the club, and also a double treble, like, that just proves that he's up there with the boys, he's up there with the greats that played at Celtic Park, he's up there definitely. Some people criticise Scott Brown, saying he's quite slow, and a lot of people came out and said, oh, it's his fault that it was his fault we lost against Rangers and Ibrox. It wasn't his fault. He had a poor game. He'd admit that. Everybody has poor games. We can't all be perfect in football. It happens. It happens to everyone. It wasn't him. It was a team. It's a team. It wasn't 11 Scott Browns around the pitch. It was only one Scott Brown. So people need to think about before they make these comments, like, especially. Obviously, he scored a couple of vital goals. Obviously, that Ibrox one was most important. It's crazy that goal meant so much to people. That was an amazing season. He had a good rivalry with Held Stuff, and he scored a couple of goals, like the likes against the Champions League playoff against Bischelve a couple of years ago. Brendan's fourth season, that was a cracking goal. He got that clear. Aberdeen, the goal against Aberdeen, where he won the ball in his own box, bit of role playing, and he got to the end and he finished off the goal. He finished the goal off as one of the best goals I've seen from a player. Like, it was unbelievable. Scored a couple of goals against Hearts as well. We've done a couple of demolitions against Hearts in Tynecastle. Brewers on the score sheet there. St Mirren, some good that goal against St Mirren in St Mirren Park. I actually don't even know the stadium, JD Stadium, whatever it's called. Apologies, I actually don't know the stadium. It's gone blank. But that goal with the yellow jersey, lashings of rain, just stood there, arms up, typical Broony trademark. What can you do? You always remember the time when them times like last season, Ibrox, the 3-2 game, glasses on, top off, not a bother from, beautiful Sunday feeling. That was a good Mother's Day for the ladies that were loving a bit of Scott Brown then, just being obviously bad. He's been on the bad side as well, like, of the stick as well at the end of the day. I always look back, I think of obviously the Barcelona game, the Champions League, Neymar couldn't have made a fool of him. Broony was just trying to be a captain, but it went, obviously the ref didn't agree at the time, it was a sending off. I think of obviously that time when Brendan's first competitive game again in Gibraltar as well, that was a sucker punch there as well. Like, look, there's been more winning games anyway for Broony than losing games, which is the positive, and he's converted. When you look at Scott Brown, he's so calm, waiting in the tunnel, and as soon as he gets on that pitch, you could see the huddle, and he is calling the shots. He's doing it the way it should be done. So I'm delighted. I think the likes of KT and Callum and any younger players that are coming through, the likes of Anthony Ralston, these boys, like, these are all going to obviously learn from Scott Brown, because he's been around the club a long time. He's seen the game. He's played international level for Scotland. He's been a great servant for Scotland as well. So yeah. Like, if you asked me if Scott Brown was going to stay at Celtic this time last year, I would have said maybe he's going to move on and go to Hibs. That was my prediction. But he loves Celtic. He said he loves the fans. He loves the way the fans travel from, obviously, over from Ireland, and then travel from all over the world, especially even some crazy places like America, Australia, because they're the best fans in the world. They don't care. Like, they'd be travelling thousands just to see the boys, So as I said, Folklore, 17 titles, 500 appearances, 37 goals. Absolute leader. Great moment, Scott Brown. I just want to, as I said, appreciation to the captain, to the famous number 8. He's here for 10 in a row. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe. Just press that subscribe button. Good content. That's it from me tonight. I just want to say thank you very much so far for the support on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and obviously on this. It's a big stepping stone, but Hope you have a good Saturday evening. Hail, hail, up the Celts. And Broony's here for 10 in a row. Go on the Broony.